I'm Bob Bordone. I'm a senior fellow at Harvard Law School. I'm the founder and former director of Harvard Law School's Negotiation and Mediation Clinical Program. Oh, and guess what? I am a total Heartstopper fanboy. Let's take a look at this super sad scene from episode 7, which involves the adorable Charlie and his quirky and fabulous sister, Tori.
Are you angry at anything in particular? Or have you decided to finally have a rebellious phase? Did something happen?
Didn't you hear about Harry Green's fight with Nick and Tal? Both my fault, by the way.
Yeah, I'm like 95% sure they were both Harry's fault and I wasn't even there. What's going on?
Before I met Nick, I was sort of going out with this other guy. I liked him, but he made me feel like I was ruining his life. Like he didn't want me to even exist. And now Nick's lost all his friends, and he's getting into fights because of me. And I just feel like maybe I do just ruin people's lives. It'd be better if I didn't exist.
You're not ruining my life.
Thanks.
Oh man. I mean, I could almost feel the tears welling up in my eyes. And honestly, not just for Charlie, kind of for me as well. Because I think if we're really honest with ourselves, haven't all of us been where Charlie is at some point in our lives? Thinking to ourselves, we're a complete disaster. We're unworthy, we're undeserving. You know, for some of us, that track in our heads is really loud. Depending on your personality, depending on your upbringing, sometimes that soundtrack is the main thing you hear. Even though, on paper, we might be able to know exactly what we should say, exactly what confidence looks like. Because of the internal demon, we get silenced and we get bogged down. And I have seen this happen with countless students and countless colleagues. I'll be working with them around some scenario that they have, and I'll say, okay, what should you say? What are your ideas of what a good thing to respond, a good way to respond would be here? And they say something, and I'm like, yep, that is exactly what you should say. But then they say but I can't do it. I don't do it in the moment. And it's not because they're not smart enough. It's not because they need me to provide them the answer. As I unpack it, what I learn is that there's this internal doubt of, are they worthy? Is this being selfish? Am I asking for too much? Maybe I've overstepped. And so these are really painful moments. And in Heartstopper, right, we see some of these moments where because of bullying, because of also this internal sense of self-doubt and lack of self-worth, Charlie ends up getting acted upon and he can't respond in the way that he should or would want to, or the way that would be most effective. And it's just painful and hard to watch, but it's real for many of us.
So, Charlie Spring, quick question. What's it like being gay?
It's fine.
You don't seem that gay, to be honest. I mean, you do sound sort of gay, but that's it. Do you like musicals?
Harry, can you just piss off, please?
What sort of guys do you like then?
I don't know.
What about Harry Styles? He's pretty sexy.
I guess.
Just leave it.
What about Nick? You think he's hot?
Wow, it's kind of hard to watch, right? And then, there's a lot of these that happen in this show. Here's another.
You actually thought I liked you. You were just there like some tragic loser with barely any friends who ate lunch alone every day and let bullies walk all over you. I never liked you. I'm not even gay. I just felt really sorry for you.
And as that inner narrative, right, you could really see it on Charlie, the sense of maybe he's right. Maybe I am worthless, right? As it grows, what happens is Charlie retreats. And in conflict terms, in negotiation terms, we call this an avoidance move. Now, for some of us, right, those internal feelings of doubt come up now and then. For some of us, they're more present. They're there a lot of the time. But the other thing I'm really confident about is that deep, deep down, there's always another voice as well. And it is that voice that says that you do have something to offer, that you do have some worth, maybe a lot of worth. And so maybe you actually do deserve that raise or that autonomy in a relationship or that sense of being heard and seen by a colleague, a friend, or a family member, that sense of value. And if you can access even that little piece just for a nanosecond, then you know about this conflict within. You know about this negotiation within. And so the key to breaking out of this, the key to standing up for ourselves, the key to being successful in our communication and our assertiveness is found in believing in and listening to that voice. You know, there is this really beautiful and poignant moment in Heartstopper where that magical moment happens for Charlie. Now, it happens because of something Nick says to him. And for me, it is my favorite scene in the whole series. So let us take a look at it now.
I don't want to break up. I know people have hurt you, and you feel like I'd be better off without you, but I need you to know that my life is way better because I met you.
You don't have to say that.
I do. And I'll keep on saying it until you believe me. I don't care about getting into fights or pissing off my mates or anything like that. It's all worth it to be with you. I mean, you are the kindest, most thoughtful and caring and an amazing person in the whole world. And if you really want to break up, then I would respect your decision, but I want us to be together.
Nick.
You're my favorite person.
Nick.
I need you to believe me.
Nick. I believe you. I believe you.
Ah, I love that moment. You know, what's happening here, right, is Nick is becoming the other voice of Charlie that exists in him. The voice that says, you are kind, good, and worthy. And so the magical moment, right, is when Nick says, I believe you. And once that confidence internally is there, then what we see is behavior that is self-possessed, that is appropriately assertive, that is confident, without being cocky or arrogant or insecure.
You don't get to have an opinion about anything I do.
Do you want me to go around telling people about you and Nick?
Do you want me to go around telling people about me and you? That's what I thought. Except I wouldn't do that because I'm a decent person. I understand that you're figuring out your sexuality, but you don't get to make me feel like crap anymore just because you hate yourself. So leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
So I want to be clear, right? I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, but given the work that I do around communication and assertiveness, I've encountered these negative inner demons as one of the most problematic and challenging symptoms around becoming more confident. And I want to say there's a few specific pieces of advice that I can offer. The first is to embrace what I call the both and. So what is that? Well, I think if we go into this thinking that the only way I could be effectively assertive is if I completely let go of the side of myself that feels undeserving, it becomes too hard to do, right? The assertive side almost is up for a referendum. And so instead what I would say is just embrace both sides of you. There's a side of you that might feel small and diminished right now. And there's also a side of you that feels badly treated and that you need to stand up for yourself. And then you say, in this moment, I am going to give voice to the side of myself that feels like I need to stand up for myself. It doesn't mean the other side isn't there. It's just not the side I'm giving voice to today. And I think if you do this, it's not a trick. It's actually more authentic. And it kind of works. But here's my second tip. This is not work you need to or even should do on your own. And this is something else I just love about Heartstopper, because as Charlie battles with some of these internal conflicts and narratives, he actually has acquired this set of friends who actually affirm him and see his value. And we see this, of course, in the character of his sister, and also right in this moment at the end of the show in episode 8.
The kindest, most thoughtful and caring and an amazing person in the whole world.
So from an assertiveness perspective, I would say find the people in your life who remind you of your inherent worth and value, and who give you that self-confidence to be assertive. And then do what Charlie does. Believe them. So the last thing I want to say here, and it's an important thing, is that if you're listening and thinking to yourself, you know, I'm just not one of these people who ever gets a glimpse of worthiness or value or self-agency, or I don't have the people in my life who can play the role of Nick or play the role of Tori, then I want to say those people do exist. Seek out a counselor, seek out a therapist, seek out someone for support. Especially during this Pride Month, I want to say, if you are queer or you're struggling right now around sexuality or gender identity, there are resources available to you. In the description of this video, I've shared a link to the Trevor Project, where there are folks available 24/7 to talk with you and to be present. And if you want to have some more fun with Heartstopper, and I know you do, and if you want to learn some more about difficult conversations, and I know you do, then keep watching this amazing next clip of Heartstopper and difficult conversations. For this one, make sure you bring some tissues as well. Also, before you go, I would be very grateful if you would like this video, ring the bell, and please subscribe to my channel. I'm Bob Bordone. Let's keep negotiating together. Okay, you know you want to keep watching. Nick and Heartstopper and Olivia Colman coming up next.